Hey, this is Mike Durr, Kingwood Mortgage Guy. Listen, I wanted to go over this this video, and I've titled it "Home Loans: Where do you go to get help?" And so that's the premise of what we're going to go through. And let's just start this thing off right away. So I like to say, help is here. I'm right here. I'm a mortgage guy. I've been doing this a long time, and I'd love for you to call me for help. I'm going to try to give you I wish I could say it was 100% unbiased. I'm biased, but I am licensed by the state. I have an NMLS license number, and I've been doing this a long time, so I'd like to try to make some clarity to you and where to go. So who would you rather deal with, local or online? Well, I'm going to assume the answer, most people, not everybody, but most people would choose local as opposed to an online local mortgage banker or a local bank. And both can be a good choice for homeowners, but it depends on your loan scenario, I think, and your specific or individual needs. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare the two to ensure that you receive the lowest rates, the lowest interest, and the best service. There are pros and cons to both. I'm going to try to go over with you the pros for brokers, the cons for brokers, and the pros for bank and the cons for banks. And then I'm going to summarize it. So who is better, broker or banker? Well, I'm going to rephrase that and say wholesale or retail. Mortgage brokers represents the wholesale lending market, and bankers represent market. So there are a variety of different ways to obtain a mortgage, but let's focus on the two specific channels, mortgage brokers versus banks. There are mortgage brokers who work as a middleman between wholesale mortgage lenders and borrowers on the wholesale end to secure financing for homeowners, and that could be people buying a home or refinancing. And then there are banks or lenders that work directly with homeowners to provide financing on what's called a retail level. Okay, so the difference is one of them has wholesale access to the lenders, the other has retail access to the lenders. So the pros of working with a broker, we tend to be better at the tricky loan scenarios. Anytime you've got just a little quirky stuff that maybe doesn't fit inside the box there easily. Could be credit issues, it could be income issues, it could be past history, it could be just a myriad of things. I don't need to list them all, but you're going to get more service and a little more hand-holding from the good guys. You're going to have access to more programs, because what we do is we don't just work with one bank all the time. We have 15 or 20, maybe more than that, banks that all are competing for our business. And so they want us to use them, and they do that with their service and with their reps and with their answering, so and the wholesale rates. Personalized loan experience, most mortgage brokers have a lot of experience, and you don't get into this business without a lot of experience. We give solutions to problems that come up. It's person-to-person contact. I mean, when you call, you're going to be talking to somebody that's directly related to that mortgage broker, if not the mortgage broker himself. And then we also offer creative ideas to serve the borrowers. And I'm not sure you get all of those things when you're dealing with a bank. Now, there are some cons to working with a broker too, but you can't always trust everybody. And there are some guys out there that maybe aren't trustworthy. You always want to check your rates and fees, and you want to compare them. Sometimes you get overcharged. Even though they have access to wholesale rates, they'll charge more than what they should. Some have been made or been known to make false promises to get you to do their business with them. And then I always tell you to confirm the experience of the person that you're dealing with. You want to avoid new loan officers, because a lot of times they lack the experience, and there's some depth of experience that you want to look out for. And then not everybody has the same access to quality lenders. So you want to, it's not only the underwriting, but it's also the servicing of the loans that you want to check on. So those are the cons. Now the pros of working directly with a bank, not everyone wants to meet somebody person to person. You want to put your stuff in, you want somebody to take care of it and let you know when it's done. If your credit is excellent and you are well qualified, this may work for you. That's the customers that the banks want. They don't want to take any chances. It's no nonsense. You either fit in the box or you don't. But the good news on the bank, they're a trusted institution. They've been around for a long time, and you can always know you can go to the bank and get somebody to listen to you. If you're an account holder, the access to your information is going to be easier because they already have, I mean, they've got the accounts where your checking account is, your savings account is, and it could be your money market or in your investment accounts. The one thing you can't do at a bank, though, is you can't expect seasoned pros in the mortgage part of it. For some reason, they just don't stay there very long. The negatives on the bank, or the cons, are they're very conservative as far as their loan programs. Now, if you're well-heeled, and that doesn't matter. The process takes longer. They're a little more disciplined, a little more bureaucratic, a lot of bureaucratic stuff. I'm not going to tell you there's not bureaucratic stuff in the broker side too, though. Loan officers are young most of the time. They don't stay. That's not where mortgage guys go. They go on their own when they're good. Loan officers, some cases, are just general bankers or customer service types that were put in that position because they knew how to take an application. And then there's not a lot of hand-holding. There's not a lot of flexibility as far as guidelines. So those are what I think are some of the cons. I'm going to try to go through this fast too. So what about rates? Well, broker rates, I think, can be cheaper, but you always want to compare retail and wholesale interest rates to ensure that you don't pay too much for your home loan. And my example is Wells Fargo has a retail foundation or platform, and they also have a wholesale foundation. And we have access to the wholesale rates that mortgage or that Wells Fargo might offer, and our rates are better than what they offer to the consumers that are account holders. And so the difference is the spread. And we a lot of times can do a loan for you with giving you a cheaper rate than you can get from Wells Fargo, using Wells Fargo as our wholesale lender. So that's something that I think is kind of interesting. So just real quick as my summary, if you need hand-holding, if you'd like service, you'd like people to kind of guide you and help you get through this process so that you're not making any mistakes, because mistakes in this industry, if you make mistakes on your loan or the house purchase, you add a couple zeros to the problems. We generally are going to serve you better as mortgage brokers if you need a little more help. Now, on the other hand, if you have a great credit and you're well-heeled, you've got a lot of income, you've got assets that are easily verified, maybe even you have an account or multiple accounts with the bank that you're thinking about going, that may be an option for you. I always encourage you, either way that you go, you always want to compare rates with both entities. And there's a whole separate way that we talk about comparing rates. So that's it. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully I haven't been too biased. I know I'm a little bit biased, but anyway, I'd love to answer any questions that you might have, and I'll try to do my best to give you the best rate and the best service and the lowest fees that you can get anywhere. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.